I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. And we got some new cards to go over. There's been 10 more released, so I'm going to move on with the next 10 that have been released here. So the one that I stopped off on last time was Cold Case. So we're going to move on to the one that came right after Cold Case. This is number 1, which is the Steward. It's a 3-mana legendary paladin minion that has give your next Silverhand recruit you summon +3/+3 and this death rattle. So it's a death rattle card that gives a Silverhand recruit +3/+3, and then when that Silverhand recruit, it gives the next Silverhand recruit that you summon +3/+3 and this death rattle. So it's a continuating chain of making a 3/3 for 1. And basically, unless somebody can silence your Silverhand recruit to take off this death rattle, or silence this to take off this death rattle, every single Silverhand recruit is going to be a 3/3. So it's almost the quest for, it's almost a reward for finishing up the quest United and Stormwinder. For, I think those gave it 3/3 permanently though, so it was more of an aura effect. But this one is just a 3-mana 3/3, and it's not that bad to get a 3/3 for 2 every turn. But how many turns are you trying to squeeze in that button? Even a 3-mana 2/2, a 2-mana 3/3. I'm not sure a 2-mana 3/3 vanilla stat minion, if you got one in your hand constantly, it's worth it. I mean, it's not bad, but there's no way to buff that up even higher. There's, without using additional buffs in the game. And would you spend 2 mana just to summon a 3/3 vanilla stat minion? Even if you could summon it whenever you want to. Yeah, it's better than your normal hero power, but not by a lot, So I'm going to give this a would not play, even if, I'm going to give this a would be better if, would be better out of, if Silverhand recruits saw play. Next up is number 2, and that is the Sinful Sous Chef. Sinful Sous Chef is a 1-mana common paladin minion card, which has death rattle, add 2 Silverhand recruits to your hand. Again, 1-mana 2/1, add 2 Silverhand recruits to your hand, which are just 1-mana 1/1 cards. Are you going to ever cast them? I mean, you need a lot of stuff, you need a lot of hand buff for that to be good. I mean, this is a Silverhand recruit. It's a 1-mana 1/1. It's not like you get them for 0 cost or anything else like that. Even throwing 2 1/1s in your hand on this death rattle, it's to make a swarm deck. It's Paladin playing Swarm. Do they have the buffs for it? Do they have the AoE buffs? Do they have the board buffs? I mean, where are you playing this that you want a 1-mana 2/1 that puts 2 1/1s in your hand? I mean, I don't see where this is coming in. Unless there's some really good hand buff that's coming down the road. So I'm going to give this a, would be better if, out of, Paladins need hand buff right now. Next one up is the Buffet Big Gun, which is a 4-mana common paladin minion, so this is number 3 on the list. And this one says summon 2 Silverhand recruits and infuse, which is the die mechanic. Give them +2 attack and divine shield. So if 3 minions die while this is in your hand, you're gonna get 2 1/1 minions and then give them +2 attack and divine shield. So 3 minions die while this is in your hand. This gives you a 4 mana 2/4 that summons up 2 3/1 divine shield minions. That's not bad. That's a pretty good start, because that's a lot of stats for 4 if you have the infuse on this. And even without the infuse, without the infuse, it's barely playable, because that would be a 4/6 for 4. But with the infuse, you get the +2 attack, so it's a +2, +4, and they have divine shield, which means that they're usually double trading at the very least. So if you can get this to infuse, it's not the worst thing in the world. So I'm going to give this a not bad but only if you can get it to be infused. Next up we have number 4 for us, which is the Great Hall. The Great Hall is a location card. It's a 2 mana rare paladin location card. And it says set a minion's attack and health to 3. Now, on this particular one, it costs 2 mana, it has 3 charges on it, and remember, you can't use the charges 2 turns in a row, at least for right now. So, you play this out, and you can change your minion to a 3/3, you can change your opponent's minion to a 3/3, so you can either use this as an offensive tool to attack, or you can use this as a like shield breaker or a taunt breaker by taking something that's huge down to a 3/3 and just killing it. So if you got a 20/20 minion on the board, and you can change it to 3/3 and just change it. The problem with this is it's not a buff on any way, shape, or form. It literally says that whatever your minion is, change it to 3/3 on both sides. So if you have a 1/1 downer, you can summon a 1/1 and you can change it to a 3/3. But that's as big and as small as it's getting, so it's kind of a catch-22. So I'm going to give this a 3/3 out of 3/3. Next up, it's going to be card 5 for us, which is going to be the Castle Kennel. Castle Kennel is a 2 mana rare hunter location card with 3 charges on it. It says give a friendly minion +2 attack. If it's a beast, give it rush. So it's an abusive sergeant without the downside. And then if it's a beast, you can put the rush on it. Rush. An abusive sergeant, I mean, it's not bad. It's 3 charges. Sometimes the rush is going to come into effect. Are you going to be playing? Are you going to be that's the thing. Are you wasting a slot on this? Currently, where Hunter is, which is the Quest Hunter, they would never run this card. They're not running that many beasts. This doesn't do any actual damage by itself. It's not a damage affecting card. It doesn't, spring a trap or do anything else like that. It's not secret. I'm not seeing where this is coming into play. I'm not sure what beast you want to give rush so badly that you're willing to give up a card slot for it. So I'm going to give this a would be better. Out of any other class could use this to be great. Next up is card 6 for us. Card 6 is Sired in Nathria. Sired in Nathria is a 10 mana legendary neutral minion. And it has lifesteal, deal 5 damage amongst enemies. Endless infuse, deal 1 more. So, if this is in your hand, and 1 minion dies, it deals 6. 2 minion dies, it deals 7, so on and so forth. As soon as it's on the board, the endless infuse no longer comes into effect, but you can use it again and again and again while it's in your hand. Problem is do you want to keep a 10 mana opening card? And it's acts as a spreading plague, so it's not just to 1 minion, so it's not just deal 5 damage. It can deal 1 damage to one thing, 1 damage to another thing, so on and so forth. If no minions are on the field, you can have this be a bomb attack. So if your opponent has, 8 health left and you've had this since your opening hand, and 8 minions have died by turn 10, which isn't the worst idea in the world, or you can trade in 1 or 2 extra minions at the very end to clear them off. This can be a bomb if they've got no minions on the board, or it can be a little bit of a lifesteal. And I just don't, I could see Big Dread running this, so it's not, unplayable. But if this gets stuck anywhere below the 10th card that you draw, I'm not sure you have enough time to take advantage of this. So I will give this a very good card out of gotta be in the top of your deck. Next up is card 7 for us, which is the Sinstone Graveyard. Sinstone Graveyard is a 2-mana rare rogue location card with 2 durability on it. It summons a 1/1 stealth ghost that has +1/+1 for each card you played this turn. So it's an Edwin Van Cleef that you can basically pull out at any time. If you have a good pop-off turn where you played 6-7 things, one right after the other, we're able to flip-flop this, you can get a 7/7 that just pops out of nowhere. That would be 8/8 because it starts with 1/1. That's not bad to have something where all of a sudden, if you have a good pop-off turn in rogue, you have a 7/7 or an 8/8 come out. Problem with that is, it's then just a 7/7 or an 8/8 a vanilla static minion. Even at this point, that could be, not the best thing in the world, but it is an extra minion to just pop out of nowhere. I'm just not sure what rogue is using this right now. A lot of rogues are being super aggressive right now with the pirate rigs and stuff like that. You play this out and you get a 6/6 that can't do anything. You're definitely, putting a pseudo taunt on the board. So I'll give this a Edwin Van Cleef out of pseudo taunt. Next up for us will be card number 8, which is Memoria, the Living Blade. Memoria, the Living Blade is a 7-mana warrior weapon from Murder at Castle Nathria, which is Rush, and it starts as a minion, not as a weapon. That's very important to know. And then after this attacks, you equip it. So you are not getting this off of the warrior quest, because it actually starts as a minion, not as a weapon. So this comes out as a 4/10. It can trade all the way up to something that's an 8/4 when it comes out. So it can trade up to an 8/4, which will give you 2 durability, 2 health left. It gets equipped as a 4/2. You can then go face for 4. Comes back on the field as a 4/1. And then it can attack again and take down up to anything left with 4 or less health left on it. That's an interesting card for 7. That's a 4, 8, 12 damage that can happen on 7. The thing is that you need to be at a point where you want that to happen, where you want to clear off 2 4 health minions, one that has 4 health or less and another one that has 4 health or less, and not have them have more than 10 attack on it. And then you gotta have not a taunting away. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's an interesting thing to have something that's a weapon, then a minion, a minion, then a weapon, then a minion again. And you could, if you have the right setup, you could do, you can do minion. You can attack with it with the rush, equip with it, attack a minion, put it back down, attack with the rush, and then it gets equipped again, so then the only thing that's going to kill it is weapon removal. And nobody's going to, I don't think too many people are going to waste a weapon removal on this. You also have some ways, and that's going to be interesting to see, is how this can be buffed. Can you give this +4/+4 with a buff ability that would normally be for creatures, you know? And then how does the durability happen? So I'm going to give this a interesting weapon. I gotta see how it gets buffed. We're going to skip Relic Vault, which would normally be our 9, because I can't discuss it yet, because no relics have been put out. I did a video on that on its own. So we're going to move on to our number 9 for right now, which is the Instantiable Devourer, which is a 9 mana epic neutral minion that has Battle Cry, devour an enemy minion and gain its stats. If you've infused, which means 5 creatures on your side have died, it eats its neighbor. So it does a cleave. That can take out 3 big minions. If you have this in your hand at all, and you're at turn 9, and there are 3 minions on the board to your side of the field, you are evening out the board. But what state have you gotten into where you're on turn 9, your opponent has 3 minions on the board, and all you want to do is kill those 3 minions? I mean, that's... I really would like to see that the game gets to the state where this is a good card. Problem is right now I'm not sure we're at that state or can get to that state during anywhere at this expansion. We're getting rid of 3 minions matters on turn 9 that would really swing the board and not just have you dead next turn, because that's all it does. It takes out 3 minions, 1, 2, and 3, but only if 5 of your minions have died on the board. So you need to be at a point where 5 minions have died, and that's the problem that I'm having with the infuse at all, is a lot of these infuses are pretty big numbers. So I'm going to give this would be a really good card out of if the meta was slower. And the last one for us right now is going to be number 10 for us right now, which is Mischievous Imp, which is a 4 mana rare Warlock minion demon card, which has summon a copy of this, infuse, summon 2 copies instead. So it's working off of hand buff, and if this was, you gotta be really careful, and I mean really careful, of any time you say summon a copy of this. There have been so many times so far where Blizzard has put out some card that says summon a copy of this, and everybody has just ignored it and laughed it off. And then somebody finds some sort of weird mechanic that exists where you get like an 88 demon off of this, and then you get another one because of the fact that it's summoned an exact copy of this. So I will be really pessimistic, cautious about this card, and say that, you know, there might be some weird mechanic, some weird circle that happens with this card, either now or down in the future, where summoning a copy of this is really scary. I mean, it's in Warlock and not neutral, so it's not the end of the world, but Switcheroo shows you how scary summoning a copy of this could. Doppelgangster showed you how scary summoning a copy of stuff would. I mean, you've got to be really cautious about this. So I will give this a, don't sleep on this. Watch out for combos. So those are the 10 that have come out so far that I can do reviews on. At this particular point, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that I will do tomorrow. So that'll be tomorrow's 10 that will be done. That should catch me up. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, remember, play for fun.